if you're serious about turning your trading into a consistent, profitable thing, then you really want to consider the playbooks of TradeZella. This is the tool a lot of traders use to make their plan mechanical, check off every confluence, and make sure they always follow their rules. And they actually gather data on how often they follow all rules, 3/4 of the rules, or even half of the rules of the strategy you have. Risk settings, confluences, triggers, entry and exit criteria, you can all put it in there and check them with every setup you take. Let's go and look at an example of how to set it up and an actual trade example where I go about all the confluences and how that translates to a chart with an actual profitable trade. Let's go. Hi guys, and welcome back to another TradeZella video, and today I will be explaining my full workflow with an example trade on how I journal my trades on TradeZella, and how you can go about making a playbook and following that playbook to always execute your A+ setups. So as of today, we have this example cat Swiss short that ended up being an $1,800 profit, and with the fundamental and technical playbook, we are going to break down how I took this trade. So you can use a playbook and you can also add tags. And why are tags important? Because if you, for example, make mistakes with certain trades, you can journal those mistakes. For example, closing early, missing out on a lot of profits, or trading out of FOMO. You can add some more tags, for example, for the risk sentiment or your fundamentals, but this is more logical to put in your playbook if you always want to use it. Okay, so let's go to cat Swiss, and if you click a trade, of course you'll get the trading view interface, and you'll be able to see how the trade went, so where you entered and where you exited the trade here on the 4-hour time frame for cat Swiss. So I already journaled this, but you can see this was a closed early trade. For the rest, I think this was beautifully executed, and it was in a risk off sentiment market, which therefore aligned with my bias. Then for the playbook, I have the fundamentals plus technicals plus fractal break playbook, and this is my strategy, how I combine fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and a fractal break for a mechanical confirmation on the chart that the direction of the price is changing. So for this trade, I have the following entry criteria: fundamental score, new sentiment, swing structure, supply and demand, liquidity, order flow, premium versus discount, and the fractal entry model. And for the extra confluences, I have the daily, weekly, monthly open levels and the moving average ribbon. So what is really effective to do is to always fill this in for every trade and see what rules you followed and what rules you didn't follow. So let's have a look. Fundamental score. Well, the fundamental score for cat Swiss was -78. So that was in line with the bias. The new sentiment was also in line, as the cat news was moderately bearish and the Swiss news was strongly bullish, meaning that the narrative of the news for both currencies is also in line with their scores, adding an extra layer of confirmation that this pair should trade down based on fundamentals. So the fundamental score and the new sentiment. Then it's time to look at the chart and look at our technical confluences and our extra confluences to see if this was actually a valid trade. Well, the swing structure, as you can see here on the 4-hour, was clearly bearish into the downside. We also had a clear demand zone over here, this buy before the sell. We took liquidity multiple times, and then we started breaking the structure down, meaning there was a confirmation that we were going down lower. At least there was a clear demand zone over here that we reacted to. Then liquidity. We saw this liquidity high being open. Then again, we take liquidity one more time over here. And then we see that we start breaking down, leaving some liquidity on the way down. Therefore, it could be grabbed another time, but there was clearly liquidity grabbed here for this short setup. Then the order flow. As you can see, this overall sell before the buy got broken over here. So the order flow clearly switched from bullish to bearish after we saw this break of structure over here on Thursday. And then we also formed this new supply zone with this liquidity, but also leaving this strong high over here. Then we of course have the premium versus discount. We simply draw it from swing high to swing low. And as you can see, we were trading above the blue line, therefore the price was offering premium prices to short back to discount prices. And finally, the fractal entry model, those are the purple lines you see here. We got 1, 2, 3 fractal breaks to the downside, and then I knew at that moment that it was ready for the pair to trade down. I did opt in for a conservative entry on this buy before the sell with my stop loss above the high and a little bit extra pips for the swap and the spread. So we have a bit of margin to breathe, targeting these lows over here. Then for the extra confluences, if I turn on the opens and the moving average ribbon, you can see the price was over here. So the entry was underneath the weekly open, around the monthly open level. And we also saw that the moving average ribbon, we were trading above it. So that is also the confluence path that we were trading in the premium when it comes to the moving average ribbon, therefore being a high probability setup. So for this trade, we had all the confluences. And as you can see, if I press play, this beautifully played out. So I know for this setup, this was an absolute A+ setup, and I want to execute more from these. So this is very, very useful. And if you track the playbook, you will stack up a database of your perfect setup, how many confluences you hit for every trade, and how many times they play out. And this is crucial to sticking to your plan. Because if you did what I did last month and go to crypto, go to indices, and you don't fully commit to this playbook, you'll see you'll deviate from your plan much easier and you'll take unnecessary losses or big drawdowns while you're not really sticking to your playbook and your original plan on the instruments you know best. So I think, again, a beautiful example, and this should be your workflow. And also in your notebook, go to your trades and journal daily. So for the CAD Swiss, you can say like, okay, this was my trade. You can even go to the notes and say like, CAD Swiss, I traded all my confluences. It was in line with the fundamentals. This was an absolute no-brainer. Sure. But you also have to do this, of course, with your losses. And then it's even more important to put in your notes and reflect on why it didn't work out. So what you can do is you can write down your themes here if you want. You can do like a fundamental analysis, like, hey, what was my analysis on this pair? But you can also just keep it simple, do like a daily journal and say like, okay, what was this trade? How was I feeling today? And you'll have the note for every trade. As you can see on this account, I have a few more running, but on this account, I accidentally put the take profit too high. So what I journaled here is that I closed it early because, yeah, it clearly had more room to go lower. So this is my journaling framework. If you want to set up a playbook, just simply head to the playbook section, add one, and you'll see all the trades you put in there, follow it, and you'll build up a big database of trades that 100% followed your plan, right? So I'm going to use this way more from now because I'm, again, going to focus less on what doesn't work. For me, it's the indices and crypto. And I'm going to focus more on the fundamentals of Forex, which is my ultimate strategy and what I know the most about. So when I trade in line with the fundamentals, when I trade in line with the technicals, when I trade in line with the fractal break, this is the way to go for me. But this can be anything as long as you stick to it, focus on it, and follow your own playbook. That's going to yield you the most amazing results. So hope this helps. Next video will be about backtesting. So very stoked for that as well. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Set up your playbook, and next time we'll do some backtesting and see how you can sharpen your edge by practicing. The more reps you do, the better you get. Ciao.